Honestly, again, that's it, again.
I've had 10 years of it and it's boring now.
Yeah, exactly.
There is a fatigue, I feel, within the Muslim community where oh, we've got to condemn another thing, oh, another thing, we've got to create another hashtag.
I didn't really feel I had a right to position myself among religions. I think it was problematic how freedom of speech was being represented as perhaps like another religion, like another thing that people could follow.
The whole purpose of the attack on freedom of speech wasn't to try and stop people posting those things, it was to make a response where people start blaming Muslims for hating freedom of speech. That's the whole point, they're trying to put a divide between the communities.
For example, that the mainstream Muslim community don't adhere to the actions of the fringe minority of our community or whatever else, and that we can work with Western core values and that it's an adaptive religion and we don't have to impose our... I mean, these are things that that is coming from a lot of places in the Muslim world, but we don't have one singular voice. And it is possible, it doesn't have to be one person.
I don't see like Muslims really represented in state institutions or legislative institutions to help like develop laws which would be more in favour of their interests.
You put yourself in a spectrum of opinion from the reaction of people. I feel a lot of the reactions from actually the Muslim community have kind of used a straw man argument in the sense that they were acting as if people were blaming the whole Muslim community when I don't think they actually were.
To be honest, the way I look at it, I don't look at it from a religious perspective or a political perspective. I just look at it from a basic human perspective.
I think there's a lack of education and a lack of acceptance in the world today, and hate is taught more often than love and understanding.
So I have no idea why Muslims are being asked to apologise or even condemn. Like, I didn't do anything.
And I think the problem is whenever, for example, Muslim leaders are in a room and they ask them, what is the big issue? What is the fundamental driving forces that are leading your young people to go out and fight and this, that, and the other? And whenever they say foreign policy, they completely get shut up. That's the main driving force that's forcing a lot of people to join ISIS, a lot of people to fight Syria, for example. Like, it's the lack of action from our governments.
And I don't think white people in Parliament are going to have a better idea of that than the Muslim leaders themselves.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are going to have a good idea. They're the ones that are going to know... I mean, come on, how well does Cameron know the Quran? How well do the leaders know the Quran? Who's going to know better how to make the Quran meld with British liberal values? Obviously the leaders, obviously the Muslims themselves.
If you're someone of any type of religious belief living in a country where that is not the primary religion that is followed, I think for you to want to live there and not integrate with the place is quite a foolish thing.
It's a failure of multiculturalism, not as an idea, but as the way it is carried out, because people feel alienated from the community, and that's why they start turning to Islamification. I'm a young man, I know exactly how they feel, wanting to have a cause to fight for some meaning in your life, and that's why they did it.
They perpetuate the same kind of like system, which is, in fact, they're trying to like entrench it into law now with the counter-terrorism bill.
What I'm fearful of, in the sense that all the MPs are very willing to back this controversial piece of legislation on the basis of the fact that it's in light of what's happening in Paris, and they will win the votes in an election. And I think that's very concerning. It's an issue for everybody, and I think we have to create an uproar about it.
So the Charlie Hebdo attacks brought forth a passionate response, especially with the media coverage, and it really led people to be very free and open with their political and racial views. But what we found is that despite the differing points of view we've encountered, the common thread was an understanding that violence will only breed violence, and that these attacks were condemnable.
I think what pushed us to make this video was the fact that the attacks in Paris and all the reactions that came out of it were in fact just a snapshot of an incident that condensed so many years of political conflict into one event. I think what came out of the media was so contradicted and confused, and ironically didn't allow a platform for debate at all, because it just instilled fear. It was these differences that eventually enlightened us, and this willingness for discussion that has been completely misconstrued by our society.